guys, it's Cathy Cat on Ask Japanese. You asked us questions about Japan, and this time I'm gonna ask your questions. So let's go. Number 1, do you intend to stay in Japan forever or return to Germany? Well, I would like to stay here for longer, or ideally forever, but I'm also being very realistic on that. I've been living here long enough to know and care about my family. I'd like to see them as much as possible. I don't get as many holidays, so it's one of the things that I'm sometimes thinking about what I should do in the future to come. Also, when I get older, how is Japan looking on that note? How is it with pension and also hospital, because you have to pay here quite a lot if you go to the hospital even when you are insured, which is actually not as expensive in Germany. So these are a couple of things that I will have to decide as the time comes, but ideally I'd like to stay as long as possible. What's the average salary there in Japan? Is it enough to live? That totally depends on your age. That depends on if you are jobbing or actually in a full-time employment. That really, there are quite a lot of factors that play into that. Some Japanese people start on a lower salary of maybe 150,000 or 180,000 yen and then move their way up. The average English teacher starts around 250,000, 200,000, maybe going up to 300,000, which is actually better than some of the average starter salary that some people see here in Japan. Also, if you are in the creative industry, for example, being an animator, making anime, your payment will be a lot lower, especially as a starter up, so you might not be able to actually afford living unless you have someone you can live with together. So there's a couple of things you might want to factor in. How do you manage the stress from strict overwork and management as a foreigner working in Japan? I had a bad experience working at an eikaiwa, which is teaching English, a few years ago. So I would like to know tips of how foreigners keep themselves positive enough to make a living in Japan. Now, I must say I've been working a lot last year. And this year I have a better work-life balance, but last year I didn't have the best of work-life balances. So I actually had to deal with a couple of stress management things. I had to actually start meditating and trying to make sure that I get enough sleep at night, similar things like that. So Japan has a high pressure environment. You need to find ways to rest and switch off. So for me, that was having to take a couple of weeks and just like resting and making sure that I don't do too many own YouTube videos for my YouTube channel or other posts and stuff. So I had to switch off a couple of hobbies, maybe even see friends less, just to make sure that I get enough rest and deal with the stress. So other things to deal with the stress in the evenings is meditation, sport. Sport helps a lot to just like run the stress off a little bit, and also make sure that you find a hobby or something that kind of helps you release stress. Many Japanese people, for example, go to karaoke by themselves and just sing their hearts out, like put all their energy into that, and it can feel a lot of like relaxation after. You can feel relaxed after doing that, to be honest. I tried that. So you need to find your own way of dealing with the stress that you have here in Tokyo, but always make sure that you speak with friends about it. Maybe they can help you. Also, social contacts are very important, especially if you're certain out in the countryside and you struggle with something. Don't be by yourself. Always ask people. Hey, my question is in terms of forming a relationship or dating someone who is Japanese as a foreigner. What are small key things that Japanese girls cherish or find sweet that one could do without being overbearing? Now, from all the interviews, what I could gather from Japanese girls is that they really appreciate the ladies first, the kind of gentleman behavior that might be natural in some countries, but is really not natural in Japan. So open doors, be nice to them, just, give them the chivalry treatment, because that's what they might not necessarily get from some people around them, and they really appreciate that. That's a little point there that I'd add to it. And generally, if you're kind and caring and friendly, anyone will appreciate that, no matter if they're Japanese or not. So just be the best version of yourself that you can be. So I hope this answered some of the questions about life and living in Japan that you added to our community question tab. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to recruit more of your questions in the future. Be sure to be subscribed to us and have the notification symbol clicked on so you can see when we post another picture saying, hey, round 3 of our question is coming out. So you can leave questions that we'll then separate by number, and I can answer them for you. I hope this helped you guys, and I'll catch you soon for another video on Ask Japanese.